Starting a business is tough, but building a successful one, well, that's the real challenge. Today, we're going to give you tips on how to build a thriving business in a competitive market. So stay tuned and watch us until the end.
De Negocio a Negocio es una producción de Engente Promotions.
Welcome to a new episode of De Negocio a Negocio, a production of Engente Promotions under the direction of Gilberto Zazueta with Sony Imagen Video and the production of Arianny with Arianny Rocks in the studios of Heritage Headquarters. As you know, this space was created to bring you tools, information, and education that allows you to grow in any of the adventures that you're starting. And because of that, today we bring you a special guest. And let me tell you a little bit about Mandelynn Moses. She is a business consultant with over 20 years of experience helping businesses create systems that allow them to profit. She has never encountered a business that is not leaving money off the table, and she has worked with hundreds of businesses of all sorts, helping her customers see and implement different strategies that allow them to turn on the floodgates to their bottom line. She called herself a problem solver. Well, welcome to our space. Welcome to the Negocio a Negocio, Mandelynn. We appreciate you coming in and sharing a little bit of your knowledge and pouring into this community that needs advice and every single piece of help that we could use. Because it's not easy.
It's not easy. Business is not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy.
Yes. Yes. So tell us a little bit about what it is that you do for business owners, someone like myself, someone like anybody out there that is thinking about, starting a new venture.
Imagine like seeing Mount Everest, right? And you just see that top peak of the snow-capped peak, but then underneath it, you see all the clouds. And it's like, oh, shoot, I don't know how I'm going to get to the top of the peak. But you have to somehow make it to the top. So regardless of the challenge, you have to have a very clear and defined vision, knowing where you're going to go and be able to visualize that, because you're going to come across tons of challenges that are going to want to knock you off your path along the way, but you have to have it set in your mind, that objective where you're going, so it causes you to be resilient while you're making it to the top, because it's not easy getting to the top.
So now, for those that don't know you, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and your background? Because I love everything that you said, and I know clarity is, it's key for success. And I know based on your background, I know what your background is, but those that are listening on the other side don't.
So I have been consulting for businesses for, like I said, over 20 years. And I would go into employment, places where I was working, and instantly see where their system is at fault. And so then I just always inadvertently ran into positions where I was actually fixing and creating a new system. And it's just something that's just been really fun for me. And when I decided to get into business for myself, I started working with businesses, helping them to grow and scale. I've been very fortunate. I have 53 visas on my passport since 2018. I've been working with businesses all over the world of all different sizes, from solo entrepreneurs to billion-dollar companies, helping them to create their marketing systems. Because at the end of the day, usually it's not a money problem. It's not a staff problem, it's a marketing problem. And so when you can fix the marketing and the branding problem and become innovative, then you end up having a very successful business.
Now, I'm glad that you mentioned marketing. And you mentioned having a clear vision of what it is that we as businesses need. But what you would say is exactly the secret to a successful business based on your experience? What are the recipe that you'll consider?
Rule number one, you've got to know who you're talking to. You know, like 9 times out of 10, 99 people out of 100, if I ask you what's your business about, oh, well, we want to serve everybody. Our business is for everybody. No, it's not. Now, will it reach a lot of people? Absolutely, it will. But you're not at that level yet. To get to a place like Amazon and Apple, you have to have a good brand strategy from the very beginning. Riches are in the niches, and it has to talk to a specific person. If there's 10 people in the room, you need to speak to that one person. So if Susie is in the room, you don't care about David and Carol and whatever. You're speaking to this one person. Your message is still going to be heard by a lot of people, but you need to know the psychology of your client. If you do not know the psychology of your client, you've already missed out.
So basically, in other words, what I'm understanding is, like, as business owners, we got to create the avatar of our perfect client and talk to and speak to and direct all of our energy when it comes in budget, when it comes to the marketing, putting a proposal together to attract that specific client.
A really good example of this was I had these 3 people that I really wanted to get into my business, but I knew everything about them. So I wrote an email that spoke exactly to them, exactly to their problem. The biggest thing that business owners get messed up on is they think the business is about them. So you get so caught up in, this is what I do, this is what I do, this is what I do. Nobody cares about what you do. They only care what you're going to do for them. So I wrote this email. It was a very vetted email to 3 people. I spoke directly to them and their problem. And in that email to 3 people, I made $36,000. Because I spoke directly to them. That was just from that email. I still got other people enrolled in, it was an online course that I was selling, but in that one email, it was an easy $36,000. Because the whole time they're saying, yes, that's me, yes, that's me. A customer takes 8 to 12 times to say yes before they're going to hand over their money. So if you've got good copy and good content, and they're telling themselves yes over and over and over, you're not selling them anything. They've already convinced themselves that they need you. So if you have good copy and you get into the psychology of your client, by the time you ask for money, it's not an ask, it's a request. How do I work with you? What's the next steps? What do we do forward? Okay, well, here's the rules of engagement, sign the contract, and that's it. It's easy. If you have good marketing, you need no sales.
But you see, the biggest challenge I see right now is that as business owners, there's so much technology out there that we get so distracted. Like, let me give you an example. Artificial intelligence. Like, a lot of us, we heard about it. We want to work with, those tools. But it's so difficult because there's so many distractions. Mm-hmm. Social media, the regular ways that we used to, again, not only brand, but market our businesses. Like, what would you advise someone that is getting started? What should be their focus on? Like, I know you mentioned, again, know who you are, know your client. Now, when it comes to tools, what should be our number one tool? Like, how do we stay in line and still keep climbing Mount Everest?
Right. That's a good question. But the answer to that is still, you've got to know your niche. The first tool is really understanding the psychology of your client. That is going to save you so much time, money, resources, and everything, because you're not just taking a handful of noodles and throwing it at the wall and seeing what sticks. When you know who your client is, you know exactly who to talk to, and you know exactly where to go to meet those people. And then the next step of that is making yourself so likable and being able to build relationships that people see that you understand them, and you become such a good listener. And all you're doing is listening and listening and listening, and you're letting them tell you what it is that you want, and then you regurgitate that into your copy. And I'll give you a really short example. I do this all the time. I will go to where, like, expensive restaurants or bars or whatever, and I'll pretend that I'm co-working, and I'll sit next to people who are my ideal client, and I'll listen to their conversations. And I'm just sitting here pretending that I'm working. They have no idea I'm literally spying on them, and I'm writing everything it is that they're saying, and then I turn that into copy because I literally just took the words out of their mouth, and then I turn around and I sell them.
Wow. So basically, if your ideal client is in a coffee shop in Scottsdale, per se, for those that live in Arizona, then you got to go and sit down at a coffee shop in Scottsdale, listen to them, figure out what it is that they, want and desire, make a list, and create your avatar. Basically, that's what I understood right now.
It's exactly what it is. I'll give you another tool that I've done is when I look at, like, it depends on what it is that I'm advertising, but what I'm advertising. So I'll go on to my competitors. I'll start following my competitors, liking their marketing material, their ads and stuff on social media. So then now I'm getting their drips. So what'll happen is then there'll be like 500 comments, and I'll start reading all the comments from that, and I'll post something, and they'll be like, oh, who's this? And then they start following me. But then again, that's all content. That's organic marketing. That's all content that I just took, and then now that's a following of people that are now following me. That's how I grew. When I used to do relationship coaching a long time ago, and I had a Facebook group, I grew my Facebook group from zero, no ads, no nothing, to 976 members in 5 days.
Because you were just putting comments.
I was just that's the I don't believe in competition. I was like, oh, thank you for guiding my way. So I just copy what they're doing and basically rip off their customers.
Wow, you say that and you laugh, but
but it works.
But I guess it's all about mindset, right?
It is.
That was actually going to be my next question. What is the importance of having the right mindset when you're a business owner?
Oh my gosh! So just the other day, a friend of mine, he called me. He's a business investor, and he's 25% owner in this particular business, and he's like, I want to hire you to do some consulting work on me because we need to grow this business or whatever. And he's like, but the owner is always combating me on everything that it is that I do. And after having a conversation, I was like, I can tell she's got some issues around men being an authority. So everything that it is that you say, she's not going to listen. So at the end of the day, she's going to tank her business. I said, you can hire me, but if she's not going to listen to anything that you say, there's no point in spending money on me because nothing's going to work. Your product and your service is a direct reflection of you. Everything that comes in the middle is just a hologram of you. So as a business owner, you better invest a ton of money and a ton of time on your mindset, because your mindset is going to make or break your business. So you better have a very strong mindset moving into the business, because everything is a mirror reflection of you.
So now, how do we get in touch with you? Because I know we're running out of time, but I want to make sure that those that are listening and are interested in getting coached and getting some help and finding out some of the stuff that you got going on coming 2025, how do we get in touch with you and where do we find you?
Yeah, so the best place right now to get a hold of me is either LinkedIn, which is my name, just Mandelynn Moses, and Instagram. So again, all my socials are under my name, Mandelynn Moses.
Okay, so my people, I was going to say mi gente, we're going to go ahead and share with you guys her link. So if you're interested in getting in touch with her, just look at the comments. We'll go ahead and share all her social media links so you guys can connect with her. But don't forget, this content is created so you guys could share it, like it, and also follow our social media. We're in LinkedIn, Instagram, also in Spotify. You can find this information, and in YouTube. In YouTube, we have a library of information, educational material to help you grow your business. But anyways, for today, we ran out of time. Stay tuned for our next episode in De Negocio a Negocio. See you soon.
De Negocio a Negocio es una producción de Gente Promotions. Síguenos en Instagram y Facebook, Gente Promotions. Y por favor, suscríbete a nuestro canal de YouTube, Gente Promotions.